Alright, so welcome to Unit 8 then. Now, this is pretty much going to talk about the binary file I/O, right, in Java. So last unit we learned how to read and write a file, right, with the text. So now data stored in a text file is pretty much something that human can read. Data stored in a binary file is represented in the binary form. You cannot read the binary files, like it's not readable by humans. It's for the computer, like we know computer use 1001, so that is the binary files, right? Okay, because this happened to decide for the program to read or computer to read, right? Java source program are stored in the text files. That example, like you see .java, right? That's something that when you write system.out we can read, right? And can be read by the editors like Eclipse. But Java classes are stored after you compile it. It's translate that files, right, .java into a .class, right? Those are the binary files. So it's going to be like 1001, right? And that's used for the program to read. And this one is called JVM, Java Virtual Machines, right? And the advantage of the binary files is that they are more efficient to process than text file. And it makes sense because the computer or the program doesn't have to spend time to convert back to human readable, because they're not going to understand human language. They only understand 1010, right? So it's more efficient. Now, if you look at this image, how is the input-output handled in Java? So this is the program that you write, right? There is a file here, right? Like I said, the file is being in the 0110, right? So when you want to read the file, that you read InputStream, like you read 0110 in, okay, then you have to have the input object to take care to store that. We try to write a program to read in the binary file. Okay, before we were looking at the text file. Now this is a binary file. The binary file different from text file. We just talked about earlier that binary file is 1001 for the program to use, like .class in Java. Text file is like .java. You can read system.out. Those are text file. So in conclusion, human can read text file, but human cannot read binary file because it's 110001. You don't know what it means, but the computer knows, and the computer loves that. It processes faster. So you read input, right? You create an object and store that 1001, right? When you want to write, you just output the object, right, and store it back to the file directly. Okay, a file object encapsulates the properties of a file or a path, but does not contain the methods for reading, writing data from to a file. Okay, so in order to perform input-output, you need to create objects using appropriate Java input-output classes. That's why we need to create object. Then we can perform something. Now this is the example of the input, right? We just look at the text file, right? You have input and then you can manipulate to read in, right? So that's input object. Okay, and this is the output when you write. So we use print writer, right, to write to that file. Then you can do the print. So this is output object. Make sense? So this input, the instance, this is input object, output object. Okay. Now again, comparing between text files and binary files again, data stored in the text file are represented in human readable. Again, human readable. Data stored in the binary file are represented in binary form 1010. You cannot read the binary files. Binary files are decided to be read by programs. Okay, for example, we just talked about that, the Java files, right? Now, although it is not technically precise and correct, you can imagine that a text file consists of a sequence of characters, and a binary file consists of a sequence of bits. That's right? So, for example, decimal integer 199 is stored as a sequence of 3 characters 199. But right, in the binary files, okay, it's going to be different. It's going to store as a byte code C7 in the binary file because decimal 199 equals to hexadecimal is C7. If you do the conversions correct, we don't need to cover about how to convert decimal to hex. You can review that. Okay. Now, we understand what's the difference now. When you actually open the text file, you see 199. But when you open the binary file, you're going to see C7. That's the difference. Okay. Now, text input output requires encoding and decoding. You need to encode it back. This is just a computer language. You have to decode it, right? In order to read, humans have to decode this into, right, 199. And in order to write, you have to encode it. You have to decode it back from 199 and put it into binary, right? Alright, so there are process here that involve, which is not efficient. Now, if you actually don't do it through the I/O, text I/O, you do it through the binary I/O, you cut that part off, ending encoding and decoding. So that make it more efficient. Like 199, you just wrote OXC7. OX stands for hexadecimals. Okay, right there. Alright, so now we understand the basic of input-output between text file and binary files. Let's look at this unit. We want to focus on how to deal with the binary file input and output. So we're going to look at the classes. So we had InputStream, OutputStream, right? InputStream, we have file InputStream, filter InputStream, and ObjectInputStream. These are the hierarchies again, right? And file InputStream, we have data InputStream and buffered InputStream. For OutputStream, we have file OutputStream, filter OutputStream, ObjectOutpoutStream. Filter OutputStream, we have data OutputStream, buffered OutputStream, and printStream. Okay, those are the classes that you can use. Right, those are our tools now. Like InputStream in text, it's going to be what? Scanner class, right? OutputStream in text is going to be print writer, but this is binary I/O. We use file InputStream and file OutputStream a lot, and we're going to see an example. Now, when you look at InputStream, okay, this is this class. Reads int, okay. These are the methods that you can use. Is return an int, okay. The value return a byte as an int type. And we know int is between 0 to 255 range. Or you can read and provide the parameters, okay, and offset. So this is pretty much a simple read. We can have many overloading, and we want to close after we're done, okay. So we're not going to get into details of it. We just want to look at the basic first. OutputStream, we can write, okay, and we close it when we're done. And flush is pretty much just OutputStream, just clean up, right, forces any buffer output bytes to be written out. Okay, so you want to write everything out in the buffer. Now, as we can see, these are the children's, right? File InputStream and file OutputStream. That means you have inherit those methods that we just look at, write and close, and right, and read and close, right? Available is pretty much return number of bytes that can be read from the input stream. Okay, I mean you can look through that through the Java doc. but the concept is they have read and write, and we close them. That means file input stream can use those too, right? Now, of course, we have to deal with the exception now. If you look at file input stream, right, and we want to read the file, same as the principle of text file. If we don't find it, it has to throw exceptions. So for the output stream, we have overloaded constructor here. Same, you can output directly to the file. You can to the file name, right? To the file object. Okay. Now, output stream, you can pass the append as the constructor to make it append, right? We talk about appending on text file too, right? So it's just dealing with it differently. So this one, when you create the output stream, you can just do comma and say true if you want to append. Okay, they're not going to overwrite your existing file. Now this is the filter input stream and filter output streams. Okay, our stream that filter bytes for some purpose, right? The basic byte input stream provides a read method that can only be used for reading bytes. If you want to read integers, doubles, or strings, you need a filter class to wrap the byte input stream. Using a filter class enables you to read integers, doubles, and strings instead of bytes and characters. So pretty much, like I said, if you just use input stream, we're just dealing with 1001. You can't just read input as numbers, right? So you have to use the filter input stream if you want to deal with those type integers, double, and strings. And how about the dev input stream here? The input stream reads bytes from the stream and converts them into the appropriate primitive type values or string. The output stream converts primitive types, values, or string into bytes and output the bytes to the stream. So this is just do converter. Okay. Alright, so now we see the hierarchies here. Let's look at some method of the data input, just like you do next in, next, right? In your scanner, double. Same, this can do read boolean, read byte, read char, right? Data input stream, and so on. And same as the data output, you can write boolean, write byte, write char. Okay. Now the characters and string in binary input output. So we can use a Unicode, right? Unicode just the standards to represent all the characters. Okay, that's why you can deal with the character and strings. And we talk about the international language. You can represent the Chinese, Japanese, Spanish, or any alphabets, right, in the world. UTF-8 is a coding schema that allows system to operate with both ASCII and Unicode efficiently, right? So ASCII is standard American standard code for information interchange. Like before we dealing with the international language, we use ASCII, right? Most operating systems use ASCII. Java use Unicode. Okay, so that's why we have a standard UTF-8 to support both. The ASCII character set is subset of the Unicode, pretty much. Alright, so now let's see how we're going to deal with this. Right? Data streams are used as wrappers, okay, on existing input and output stream to filter data in the original stream. They're created using the following constructors. So you can say data input stream and then input stream, right, in stream, as well as the data output stream. Now, when you want to deal with the file, and this is the binary file, we just do, normally it can be any file type. In this case, we can use .dat, represent for data. So, if I want to get data input stream in file equals to new data input stream and new file input stream. same data output stream out file, new data output stream. So this is when you start to create object